is risen! He is risen! He is alive! Jesus Christ is alive! Amen!
Wow. Great, right?
Good.
All churches all over Flagler County celebrating Easter in their own way. And I gotta be honest, I think Reverend Sparks, if we could all be as excited about Easter as he was, I mean, I think that's amazing. And we had an amazing Easter.
We did. And I feel like as long as a community is praising something and somebody higher than them and a higher purpose, we are going to do better as a community. So that was beautiful to see. And in our own home, we celebrated Easter and it was beautiful. We fed about 25 people, and 3 of our kids are not living at home. So 3 of them were in our home and 3 of them are living out of the state, and 2 of them are in West Virginia. And I was so touched that a pastor's wife drove an hour to bring our kids to their home and to feed them and help them feel just loved at this Easter season. And then we have a son in Hawaii, and BYU Hawaii held a nice Easter dinner for those who didn't have a place to go to. So our kids were well taken care of, and it touches my heart when people are thinking of those beyond their own families.
Yes, thank you for taking care of our kids. We appreciate it.
God bless you.
Yeah, and last week we also had the launch of the shuttle, Artemis, right? Artemis, and they're supposed to come back this Friday and land in San Diego. And I went farther than any other spaceship from the Earth has ever gone, right? So pretty amazing stuff.
I can't wait to hear their stories. I can't wait to just hear their reaction about it all.
We have news on Matanzas High School's tennis team, another big arrest by Flagler County, and a lot of controversy over money in Palm Coast and Flagler County. And also stay tuned because we have giveaways today. All that and more on Observer Now.
We love giveaways. Welcome to Observer Now. We are so glad you're here.
Now, Mayor Mike Norris recently has Palm Coast residents talking about the future of the Southern Recreation Center.
The thing that I want when we start talking about the SAP is consideration of selling that Southern Recreation Center. And people go, oh no.
Palm Coast Mayor Mike Norris is suggesting the city consider selling the Southern Recreation Center as part of a broader push to reduce spending.
The Southern Recreation Center is a drain on our money. It is. It's going to be a bigger drain. We've been talking about the golf course, but the Southern Recreation is a bigger drain. And to me, the Southern Recreation Center is not a true recreation center. It is a racket center.
The proposal comes as council members address concerns about government spending following scrutiny from state CFO Blazin Gallia directed at the county. Finance Director Helena Alves told the council the city applied the same methodology used in the state's report based on population growth and inflation, and found Palm Coast General Fund came in within about 5% of that benchmark. Palm Coast City Councilman Ty Miller.
So, Mr. Mayor, I also did that same calculation just for ad valorem rather than including sales tax and gas tax and some other things that we don't even vote on. And it comes out to it's less than 5% in terms of percentage. Okay. It gets us roughly to like 41.5, and ours was 43.
The conversation now shifts to the upcoming budget cycle, where officials say tough decisions could be ahead. For the Palm Coast Observer, I'm Rich Carroll.
We just did a story on that recreation center, and it looked like a lot of fun. It looked great.
Yeah, a lot of people were there doing tournaments and whatnot.
This had the most controversy in the comments. We saw your comments. We read them on Facebook. We read your frustrations. A lot of you thought there were shady things going on to be getting rid of it. One comment I thought was interesting was Robert Jarowski. He said, I love that he said it's not a true recreation center. He's right. It's not. And for me, I think of a recreation center including a pool, a rock climbing wall, basketball, volleyball, things like that. But we do have those in Palm Coast.
Right, right.
So
Well, and that's the thing. Does every recreation center have to have
have to have
everything?
all of that.
And how
yeah.
many of them would we need in Palm Coast?
Yeah,
Because we have so many parks around, right?
right.
That have all kinds of things,
So this
including
one
tennis
is
courts as well.
quite unique.
Yeah.
And it is a growing sport, especially, with all the rackets. Okay, so the other one was Stacy Casarico. I don't know which one, but she said, you have built this beautiful facility, but literally handcuffed the staff by not allowing the budget to use for tournament software and promotion. I promise if you let the people you have working for Parks and Recreation the tools and resources they need to succeed, this facility would pay for itself. I thought that was a super interesting comment because what are those software, things that they can utilize, and what is the plan for that? And are they using it? Are they doing everything they can to help it make money so that it can be still maintained by the city? I don't know.
I think it's a good point.
Good questions. Yeah.
Tina Curry brings up a point that I think I agree with, and it says you don't build something for almost 14 million and it's basically only open for a year and say it's not making money. We need to sell it. If it's not making money, that means you as a city aren't doing your jobs getting tourism that was told to us you would be able to attract to use the facilities. So I think part of this is that, there has to have been, when they approved this, there had to be some sort of an actual goal, and they look out,
Right.
and they look at the projections, and
Say,
surely
this
they
year,
didn't project.
Are we meeting the
Well,
income
yeah.
that we need?
Well, and maybe what's happening is that what they projected is lower this year. But again, I mean, can we really make those decisions if you're spending $14 million on something? Like, I would think that you really have to look at least five years out. If I was a business, I would be looking at least 5 years out
Right.
to
Give us
make
some
a
time.
profit.
Give us some time.
And so I think it's kind of interesting that they're calling for it to be done right now. Of course, Mark Woods came through with the comedy for us. Next, he'll complain the fire department isn't making money. I see what you did there, Mark. I see what you did there. And yeah, it's funny.
And
But
it is hard to put a price tag on something that is creating recreation for a community.
well, and how do we know if the people that are coming there are being attracted there? Because clearly there are some people that are coming from out of the county.
Right.
How do we know where they're spending their money at?
And what
Are there
more-
businesses that are, being paid for lunch or for whatever
Because
else
they're in
because
town.
they're in town?
Right.
We can't keep track of a lot of
Right.
those things. So
So you guys had good questions. You had good comments. We loved them all, and we loved the controversy of it.
yeah, and if you
Yeah.
have something else to say, please put it in the comments below. We want to read your comments. We love the interaction that it brings, and thank you for
sure.
being so active in that. Also, Flagler County Commission responds to a report from the state of Florida that $59 million has been wasted in the county. Rich Carroll, the voice of Flagler County News, has more on this.
It was a ridiculous report. There's nothing that we can look at and say, well, we could fix that or we could fix that. There's nothing there.
Flagler County commissioners are pushing back against state criticism over alleged wasteful spending, while also acknowledging the need to rebuild public trust. During Monday's meeting, commissioners questioned the accuracy of Florida CFO Blaise Ngalia's report accusing the county of wasteful spending, calling it lacking in data, but agreed the perception issue needs to be addressed. Flagler County Commissioner Andy Dance.
What the CFO did was come in and just blow apart our trust with the community. And that is part of the process, is building that back and explaining exactly what we have been accomplishing.
Commission Chair Leanne Pennington.
The fundamental message was you cannot grow government disproportionate to the growth you're obtaining. You don't even have the community to sustain those kind of numbers.
Commissioners say the focus now is restoring confidence and making sure residents fully understand where their tax dollars are going. For the Palm Coast Observer, I'm Rich Carroll.
Okay. Well, I thought it was interesting that he said there's nothing to fix. Because listen, I think about our household and like the money that we're spending. I'll tell them, I don't know why we don't have money. There's nothing to fix. We're doing so well spending money, but there's always something to fix. There's always something.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that would bring a red flag if you were like, to say there's nothing to fix would bring somewhat
Right.
of a red flag.
So Buzz Martin left a comment and he said, oh yeah, wasteful indeed. 5 people working on a tile sign that didn't need repairs in the first place. I don't know where that tile sign is. I don't know if that was, just kind of throwing something out there, if there's actually a tile sign, but I feel like like we said, there's always something. I have to laugh. Our son, he was cleaning out the car and he had a handful of change and he threw it away because he's like, oh, it's just this little bit of change. I said, son, I almost gave away the name who did it. son, don't
Exposed.
throw away money. So, little bits here and there adds up. So I don't know. I don't know where it needs to come from, but
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I think also, when you are elected as a county official, you are under scrutiny and people
Oh,
are
for
watching.
sure.
And
Mhm.
sometimes it's interesting because there's so many things that they do that I'm sure there's lots of it that none of us know that they do. Some of it could
Right.
be amazing. Some of it could be shady. We don't know because
Yeah.
we don't have that ability or that transparency to see what's happening. I do believe if you are a county official, that it's in your benefit or to your benefit to sometimes be more transparent with what's going on so that people in the county know. Because when election
And be honest if there's a mistake,
right, be honest if there's a
right? Like we
mistake,
trust
and
that
also,
more.
hey, we're trying
Yeah.
to get better at this. But I do feel like, there's an election coming up, and when the election comes, right, people are going to think about the one thing that was the loudest complaint, right?
Yeah.
And that's usually the number one thing. So I feel like it's in their benefit. It benefits them to be more transparent with what's going on, specifically about this kind of stuff. We hear something coming out, and you hear that number, $59 million. Like, oh my gosh, what did they do with the money? It's like, so I feel like it leaves a lot for people to kind of question.
Well, we have a Q&A later, so keep watching because I feel like Kim Carney had a lot of transparency in her conversation with Rich Carroll later. So that's going to be really helpful for you and for us as we listen to more of these transparent conversations.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. But as for right now, we have giveaways, guys. You have to get ready for the Stars, Stripes, and Stories. It happens on April 24th. It's 2 tickets for that Friday, and it's a tribute to America's 250th birthday, featuring
incredible.
live musical performances and storytelling at the 8th annual Palm Coast Songwriters Festival. This show basically has all-star lineup. It has an all-star lineup of over 55 that have over 200 number one hits between them. So this is the
55.
This is the catch.
Hold on, how is that going to happen?
So this is the catch. All right, this is the catch.
Yeah.
You're going to hear these songs from the people who wrote them, not necessarily the people who made them famous. So I think that's kind of amazing. I think that's a unique thing, and
very unique.
we're doing a giveaway. All that you need to do is you need to type in Palm Coast Songwriters Festival in the comments and share the post. That's it.
Palm Coast Songwriters Festival.
Yep.
That's it.
All you have to do is type Palm Coast Songwriters Festival in the comments and share the post.
And what do we win?
You win 2 tickets to Friday night to the
date night
Stars, Stripes, and Stories, a tribute to America's 250th birthday. I'm telling you guys, it's
very
unique.
Intriguing.
It's amazing.
Yes, yes.
It's awesome. It's a giveaway. Go type it in right now. What you waiting for? Go ahead and do it. We've had more than our fair share of high-speed chases in our county recently. Luckily, that's not how this one ended up, but it did take Highway Patrol, U.S. Marshals, and the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. And Rich Carroll has more on the story.
Coordinated effort between the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, Florida Highway Patrol, and U.S. Marshals led to the arrest of a 17-year-old fugitive on I-95. Deputies say the suspect, wanted out of Polk and Orange counties, faces multiple violent felony charges, including attempted first-degree murder and armed robbery tied to a Davenport shooting last month. Authorities conducted a traffic stop after receiving a tip from St. Johns County. The suspect was taken into custody without incident. For the Palm Coast Observer, I'm Rich Carroll.
17-year-old fugitives? That's young. Yeah.
On attempted murder charges?
Yeah.
I am continually amazed at the Flagler County Sheriff's Department here. I mean, we continue to hear about them being brave and going above and beyond and listening. I believe there was a tip for that one, and listening to the community.
Yeah, we really appreciate our law enforcement around here. And like I say, it's almost every week that there's something going on that their expertise saves the day.
Absolutely.
So one of the brightest events of our county is here. It's the Flagler County Fair that's coming up. Rich Carroll has more on the story.
The County Fair and Youth Show returns April 13th through the 17th at the Flagler County Fairgrounds in Bunnell, spotlighting local FFA and 4-H students and their work in agriculture. The free event focuses on livestock exhibitions and youth development, with nightly showmanship competitions highlighting both animal care and presentation skills. Board President Penny Buckles and FPC High School Agri-Science instructor Maggie Reeves.
This is a
What
business
else?
proposition for the kids.
Yeah.
So this is a true business venture for them. They're taught daily rate of gain, how much their animals gain every single day based on how much feed they eat. At our livestock sale, they're auctioned off, and these are farm to freezer. So these animals do not go back home. They actually go to someone's freezer. So it is up to them to maintain these animals in the highest quality meat they possibly can, because that's going to be someone's freezer soon. And they're taught this responsibility, that is the chain, that is the food chain, that is our food chain, and that is where our meat comes from. It doesn't just come from a grocery store.
In the 3 years that I've been here, we've seen astronomical growth in our program. The first year that I was here, we only had 3 FFA kids showing in the fair, and now we have, like I said, 16 animals this year. So we've had some huge improvement over the last few years.
Students say the experience teaches leadership, responsibility, and real-world business skills.
I just really love being a part of FFA as a whole and being able to raise these animals. For me, FFA is just community. Like, it gives us so much like opportunity to be in a field in agriculture and just teach us like responsibility, like they said, just to be independent.
I've learned a lot. I've learned how to be more out of my shell, be more publicly aware. I've also learned numerous things in ag. I've learned to be a better leader and just a better version of myself.
For me, FFA really just got me interested in the ag industry. I mean, my parents aren't. My mom works for a vet company. My dad works in construction. So I wasn't really in the ag industry from birth. So I feel like FFA really brought me into that and helped lead me to what I want to do as a future.
Organizers say the week wraps up with a livestock auction on Friday, and they're encouraging the community to come out and support the next generation of agriculture. For the Palm Coast Observer, I'm Rich Carroll.
Hey, so I have to really honor that kid that said his mom and dad didn't do much with that at all, but yet he still went forward and did it. That's kind of like our kids.
Yeah.
Did you grow up on a farm?
No.
Did
Not,
I
nothing
didn't
like
grow
that.
up. I didn't grow up on a farm,
I did not.
but we had chickens, and our kids.
We definitely had chickens.
Oh my gosh, our kids were so cute with them. They loved the chickens. They named them all. And one time when we'd get lost, they would pray and pray and pray for them to come back. And there was one night, I remember they went out to feed the chickens, and I heard wailing and sobbing, like out in the woods where they were just crying so hard, and a possum had come
It was a possum.
and taken the chicken.
We caught that
Oh
possum,
my-
though. I will tell you that.
He did.
We caught the possum.
He did. And they were
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna say what happened, but I'm just saying we caught the possum.
so angry at that possum.
They were angry at the possum.
But we buried the chicken. We put a tombstone up there. We had a funeral.
We definitely did that.
Then we continue to love those other chickens because I think we told you last week that our kids did 4-H. So they were raising them for 4-H. And I don't think they fully understood, like, in the end, what that would be for. So, as these kids understood.
Right.
And they were raising him, and then they went to sell them because we were moving to the city. And a friend of ours said, yeah, I'll buy those chicken. And shortly after we said, how are the chickens going? It's like, oh, they tasted great. The tears happened again. They were like, no.
Listen,
no.
the good news
They
is
had no
that
idea the guy was going to eat them.
I understand, but the good news is they raised good chickens and it provided a good meal for somebody. And that's the good news.
Right. This is coming
What-
from carnivore. He's on a carnivore diet.
I love chicken.
That means he only eats meat.
Listen, don't take offense to it. But I do have to say I'm so impressed with these youth.
Yes, absolutely.
And Penny does an amazing job. Got a chance to work with Penny
She does.
at the Boots and Bling,
Yes.
their fundraiser. And so really grateful for what they're doing. And like you said,
Isn't
it's
it
good to see
great?
youth that are out
Yes.
there feeling confident. They understand. And we say FFA, Future Farmers of America. These people are going to be growing our food in the next 15,
Yeah,
20
so
years.
grateful for them.
And so it's important for us to understand that, this is a part of our life. It's a part of our life. It's one of the most
Absolutely.
important things in our lives is where we
Yeah.
get our food from. And we got to be able to have people young people coming up
Yeah.
that know this, right? And can do these things
And
and
they
take
look
over
so
for
responsible. I loved it.
it. Yep. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work.
Congrats.
And the latest edition of the Palm Coast Observer hits newsstands today. Here's Rich Carroll with the headlines.
Thank you, Abe and Rachel. Let's take a look at the latest headlines from the Palm Coast Observer. Mengel selected to lead county. Heidi Petito to exit April 10th. Veranda Bay. Owner sues Flagler Beach over annexation. Resurrection celebration. First parade honoring the resurrection held in Bunnell. And on to Worlds. FPC starlets have deep roots. The latest edition of the Palm Coast Observer is available for free on local newsstands today.
Did you know that the Matanzas tennis team is trying for an undefeated season?
That's amazing.
It's happening tonight. Here's Rich Carroll with the rest of the story.
Kansas boys tennis team is one win away from a perfect regular season, entering tonight's home match against St. Augustine at 14-0. Matanzas sophomore Daniel Patsula says the goal is to keep winning.
The goal this year is to win every single match that I play. Our districts are coming up. I'd like to win every match at districts. And I'll see what happens next week.
A victory would cap an undefeated run and build momentum heading into next week's district tournament, where the Pirates say they're stronger and aiming to advance after narrowly missing out last year.
Go do it.
Let's see. It looks like a pretty motley crew there, right? Now, those guys, listen, we'll be cheering for you. We'll be cheering for you.
I love tennis. I played tennis in high school. To go undefeated is unreal in my mind. To go undefeated in anything, that means a perfect season. No mistakes. I mean, some mistakes in a game, right? But you cover for it. And you can't say, oh, I had a bad day. No, undefeated.
That's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. You got to get some balls to bounce your way. It's a lot. There's a lot going on there. So, but it's pretty huge.
Listen, I played tennis in high school, and somehow I was the #1 spot, but not because it was good. The coach, even when new people would come on the team, I overheard him. He didn't even say it to me. I overheard him. He said, I overheard him say, all right, now she's the #1 spot on the team, but do not watch her. She's terrible. But I would just dive for every ball and dive over here. But these guys are all a whole other level.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think you probably were good. I think you just were good in a different way.
I was just scrappy.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe scrappy is good. Okay, so that's good though.
You need a little tad bit of scrappiness to win.
So for those of you who were waiting around to find out a little bit more about that $59 million that we were talking about before, we did have Rich Carroll. He was able to catch up with Kim Carney for a Q&A. We'll go to that now.
To take whatever action we need. I'm prepared to go to zero-based budget. I'm prepared to cut the budget 10%.
What was your reaction when you heard Blaise Ngalia, the Florida CFO, say Flagler County wasted $59 million or it was too much money to him? What's your assessment of what he said?
Yeah. Well, I myself and Commissioner Richardson went to a conference last year, so we were pretty much prepared for what was coming down the road. Everything was pretty vague, and being new at all this, I didn't know what to expect. We did often from the dais, however you want to say it, mention, and I think that Commissioner Richardson said on several occasions, she used the word doging and making the doge into an action verb. It went kind of silent. Our board voluntarily did this. I mean, this was something that we wanted to look at. So we wanted to participate. We wanted to cooperate. So we did that. I did not believe that the outcome, I don't care if it was, 6 million or 600 million. The process is not what I expected. I expected some kind of a audit or some kind of a report or, a get well program or something to help our county change things around. And instead we got a press conference, no before notification. And actually the Board of County Commissioners was not invited to the press conference. So I didn't see the cooperation that I would have liked. The data hopefully will speak for itself. Our incoming or our interim, soon to be interim administrator, Mr. Adam Mengel, has already requested from his office, the CFO's office, a copy of the audit and the actual math that was used to come up with that number. The number was bigger than what I thought it was going to be. I did watch several of his press conferences from before. I think being a small county, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage because we may use general fund money differently than other counties may use general fund money for. As you are well aware that our tax base is very heavy and it leans very heavy on residential homes. So we're at a disadvantage.
You said what we got was a press conference. Do you think that any of this was maybe politically motivated?
Of course I do. Yeah. Of course I do. But it was his way of getting the information out, right? I don't know the CFO personally. This is his style, I guess. It's not, like I said, it's not what I was expecting. Am I embarrassed by it? No. We signed up for it. We want to work with the CFO. He will be here for many years, as he stated. I did research on the James Madison Institute that he referred to. I downloaded the guide for how to self-Doge and sent it on to administration. I'm prepared to take whatever action we need. I'm prepared to go to zero-based budget. I'm prepared to cut the budget 10%. We have all discussed all this. Last year, I prepared a 9-page spreadsheet, long way, 9 pages of what I thought were misappropriated or over budgeted items. And I was told that that was not my job. My job is not to do that. Well, I guess it was my job, wasn't it? Because now it's all falling on the council or the commission. And I'm okay. I'm an accountant. I can read the numbers. I get it.
And you gave some examples there, and you were an advocate for Doge to come in and take a look at the finances. If we find out that the CFO's numbers are accurate and there is a lot of waste here, that's something we have to act upon. And how do you act upon that on the dais?
Well, what we will do, and I know we've already started doing it, is asking the questions. I think so my budget book is 480 pages. It's very well organized. I'm not going to discredit the fact that we've received awards for how organized our budget book is. However, like every company, like every institution, we're staff heavy. I mean, 80%. No, the number is big. The biggest number is employees. It's going to be like this until we take some action. I'd like to see a moratorium on hiring. We're halfway through the year. April 1st puts us at halfway through the year. Let's look at our numbers. Let's look at our positions. I asked the first year I was in office for a work study. How much time does it take for an employee to get their job done? What efficiencies can we add to the system? The culture right now in Flagler County is not to do that. And that's where it all needs to happen. It's a culture.
All right. Hey, Vice Chair, Flagler County Commission, Kim Carney, thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us on the Palm Coast Observer and Observer Now. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Give me a call. Have a blessed day.
Listen, I couldn't tell if she was saying fund money or fun money. Do you know what? No, I'm just playing.
I don't think she was saying fun.
She was saying fund money, I think. Okay.
I truly, honestly appreciated that interview because I felt like whenever they sit down with Rich like that,
Yeah.
they're being a little bit more authentic and down to earth. And I mean, I don't know.
Real people.
Yeah.
Real people
Yeah.
doing jobs And I, you know, I don't know her.
She's an accountant.
Right. She just came
Primarily.
into this trying to make a difference in her community.
Yeah.
And now here she is faced with a bunch of stuff that she never even seen before,
Yeah.
and thinking that it's going to be handled one way, and it wasn't handled that way.
But I feel like she's prepared to do that.
She's prepared to do
Yeah,
whatever
like
it is.
she said. So I thought that was a great interview.
See, I mean, I look at it and see, no matter what you think happened or whatever you think is going on, the fact that she's like, hey, let's figure it out. Let's work it out. That goes a
That's
long
what
way.
we want to hear, right? That's what we want to hear. Yeah.
So we appreciate Kim Carney taking that
The
time.
willingness, honesty, authenticity, for sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of like you could see yourself in that situation, right?
I think that's what it was.
That was what it was for me. I was like, man,
Yeah.
if I got that job, I'd probably be saying the same thing.
Well, we have a daughter who loves accounting. So I was thinking about my daughter in that position. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
okay, would she just want to like make a big spreadsheet? She absolutely would. And just say, hey, let's figure it out. Start a ground zero. All right.
Yeah, I love the Q&As. Keep them up, Rich. Keep them up. So we have, the time is now for our next giveaway.
The time is now.
Now, so this giveaway is for a local business owner, if you're related to one, if you're a nonprofit organization.
Everybody knows a local business owner.
If you know you can use some increased exposure, the Observer makes marketing easy, and you can choose from email marketing. You can choose from social media, Observer Now sponsorship, which is what this is right here, website advertising, or of course, any printing advertising, right? If you want to print in the paper. So to enter to win $300 worth of advertising, type in Observer Marketing in the comments and share this post. Again, you're a local business owner, you're related to one, or a nonprofit organization, right?
That is
And you need some more
win-win.
exposure.
That is all win-win.
$300 towards
you have to write?
advertising. They have to type
Observer Now.
Observer Marketing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, listen, what
Right.
she's saying is now, write in
Right
Observer
now.
Marketing right now, right? Observer Marketing, okay? Put it in the comments
Observer
below
Marketing.
and enter to win $300 in advertising for your business, nonprofit, or somebody whose business you love, or somebody whose you love business, right? It's all that. It's all
That
that.
includes everybody.
Everybody, right? You can win and give it to the person, the business that you want to see succeed, right?
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. Go down, put Observer Marketing in the
Observer
comments.
Marketing.
All right. Now, speaking of advertising,
Yes.
we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hello, Ramona with eXp Realty here. We are at 3 Seabourn Court, Palm Coast, Florida. This is a lovely 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, just under 2,300 square feet. Come on in, let's check it out. We have a living room, dining room combo here. The lovely upgrades to this home, it has been updated with tiles throughout. You have a Florida room. Don't forget this lovely entranceway to the Florida room. They have added a beautiful wood sliding glass door. We also have done brand new kitchen, updated with wood cabinets and granite countertop. And the bonus room upstairs, you have the 4th bedroom suite for an in-law or a guest bedroom. Roof is brand new, AC, hot water heater. There is a lot of updates to this home. Also, back in the back here, let's go back here and check out what we have done back here. You also see this beautiful sunroom. It is also air conditioned, and you have hurricane windows and hurricane shutters throughout the whole entire house. Back in the backyard, we have brand new sod installed last year, fruit trees, lots of plants, beautiful area to enjoy back here, fully fenced. Irrigation system throughout. Irrigation is perfectly aligned so it does not hit your house so you get that ugly yellow stain. You have a shed back here. She said, she shed, he shed, you have it all. Beautiful concrete throughout the home, throughout the backyard. If you are interested in this home, it is $480,000. Please call me 773-414-1700 to schedule a showing. Thank you.
Thank you to Ramona at eXp Realty.
Thank you.
Appreciate your sponsorship. And what a great place to live, right? Flagler County
We
is an
too
amazing place
in
to
a
live.
Great place, yeah.
No doubt.
I love the backyard of that house and the colors.
So what are your takeaways from today?
Oh my gosh, this is easy. My takeaway is we as a people want authenticity. We want honesty, whether you have made a mistake or whether you're doing something great. Like we want it, especially from the politicians, from the community and the businesses, like everything. I think we just want the authenticity.
Yeah, I think there's two things I take away from this. One is put yourself in the place of that person to see,
Good.
you know,
I
if I
like
was
it.
in that position, what would I want? What kind of respect would I want to hear from other people and feel
Right.
from other people? I think also the other thing is if you have a problem with how it's being run, then run yourself.
Yeah.
Run yourself.
Speak up.
We're gonna have like
Yes.
record amounts of people registering for the elections.
Yeah, you have a
coming
voice.
up. You
We
have a
said that
voice.
last week too, though. You have a voice.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the other thing is the Observer's a great place to be transparent, right?
The Observer is a great place to put your ads on there.
No doubt. No doubt.
Also, wait, my final takeaway. Go Matanzas tennis team. Stay undefeated.
Good luck on being undefeated.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you. We're glad you're here. We're glad to see you this week, and we will see you next week.
Watch out for us on Observer Now.